Hey train friends, it's Matt, and today I'm going to be reviewing and running the new Lionel Visionline Union Pacific Genset switcher. This is part 1. First we're going to review this engine, and then I will run it in part 2. So we'll start from the front of the engine, and then we'll proceed back. There's no question about it that this is a great engine. I purchased this, and I picked this thing up for a very good deal at York. I picked this up for $485. Now, if you can't beat that price, I don't know what you can. In my opinion, you can't get a better engine than this as far as the switcher diesel goes. This thing has a lot of operating features that one model railroader can kick in. So we'll start here at the front, and we'll work our way up. Alright, starting at the front here, you got a great electrocoupler that bends up and bends down and swings out prior to operation. The pilot is fixed so it stays in place. It'll never go out of proportion. You got stairs, and they're see-through stairs, which are pretty cool. And then you got handrails here to climb up. One thing that we had a problem with ours is that this detail came apart. We plan to fix that. No worries at all. You got separately applied MU hoses they're not removable. You got a coupler cut bar here that does not move. It's sealed to it. You got a plastic chain moving up here. And I don't think I have the smallest tool at the moment. Let me see if I could find it. I guess this will work. I'm only going to do it for this side because the other side I think is the same. In these doors are just basically opening compartments. These opening compartments are pretty cool. This UPY Genset switcher. I really liked all these opening compartments because it gives you a feeling for the engine and it makes it look really cool. Separately applied details down here, such as molded in details. And then you come up and you have wonderful, great paint job, Union Pacific logo, UPY 2701, and then I think that's something, I don't know what that is. Now apparently this is where you insert the battery. Well, for some reason I can't insert the battery. But anyway, still great running engine. Coming down here you got caution I believe. You got this separately applied handrails, and this, which I do not know what it is. Moving down the side of the engine, you got the F for front, I believe, and then hidden in here are your legacy controls. This is your volume, this is your bell and horn sounds, along with the legacy rail sounds, program run mode, Odyssey speed control, and smoke. Door is held shut by a magnet, so it will not close. UPY 2701. This is a 3GS21B class of Genset. I just dropped my tool. Alright, so we're gonna have to go up a bit. This Genset also does include a removable cab roof, just like the Evolution Hybrid. It's easy to remove it. Just pull up on the cab, and it should slide out of its place. Inside the cab, you have engineer and brakeman figures, along with a separately applied detail cab controls, such as throttles, brakes, and the gauges in this engine do light up. To put the cab roof back on, it actually took me a little time to figure out. To put the cab roof back on, you actually have to tilt it back, push it in, and then once you hear a click, it'll pop right back into place. Moving back in the locomotive, you got excellent molded in detail, and you also got some hand-painted stuff like Caution, Building America, ultra-low emissions diesel genset switches, and engines change throughout the operation, which I will get into. Under here, I really don't know what this is. I haven't really read about this particular thing right here, but if anybody knows, I think it's a smoke unit. I'm not sure if that's the only compartment that does that. I haven't really checked. but if anybody can tell me, just let me know. These handrails on the engine are actually the antennas. So if you break these, you just basically broke the antenna. Coming up toward in the top, you actually got see-through grills, but there's nothing in there to see because literally it's just the smoke unit. These are the stacks with the caps on top of them. You can't see them right now, but if you lift up on them easily, these are the smokes with caps. So once the engine smoke unit turns on, either one of these three stacks will come on. The trucks are excessively detailed. You got so much detail, I don't even know where you can start. You got brake hoses, you got so many separately applied details down here. It's so amazing. Down towards the cab here, you also got stairs. You got more cautions on all these boxes, and then you reach the fuel tank, the sand tank, I believe, and then you come to the other set of trucks. I think down here it says something I can't even read because it's so small, but there's lots of wording over here. When you reach towards the back of the engine, it says Gen right here. Let me remove that there. Lots of molded in and separately applied details. I think that's not a see-through grill right there, but there's loads of writing all over this. Most of this is molded, some molded in detail and some put in detail, separately applied. When you reach the back of the engine, you notice the backup light here, and some more UPY 2701 Union Pacific, and more paint, and then another plastic chain. One thing I want to mention real quick about this engine is, usually when you see your Lionel Legacy diesels, well, you're probably asking, well, where are the lights that flash when you blow the horn? Cleverly, Lionel put them hidden right under there. As you can see, they're right here and right here. Cleverly designed, and they're also put on the back. They're in the same way, right there and right on the other side too. It's cleverly done. I was really impressed when I first noticed it. But other than that, this is a great engine. For those of you that want this engine, most times I see this thing go for $549, maybe even more. Now when you notice this engine, you also see two sets of horns. One here on the cab and one on the back. And then you got these molded in, separately applied details here. You also got a handrail. Now, before I close out the review, and then we'll get to part 2 of the running, I want to mention real quick about what type of smoke juice you should use. Try to avoid proto smoke with this thing. It doesn't work well with proto smoke. I try to recommend JT's Mega Steam because they use the right amount of chemicals in their smoke juice to make it just smoke right. Lionel recommends that you service the caps I believe every 2 hours of operation, because then they start to not close and open properly, because then what happens is that the oils get all over the smoke caps. So Big Steam 5344 gave me a tip is soak them in water for two minutes with 4 drops of soap, get rid of all the oils, and then take them out and probably use a hair dryer on the lowest setting, dry them out, get the inside of the smokestack too, and then hopefully it'll go right back to normal operation. Lionel also included a smoke funnel to load the smoke units. This is the big size funnel that comes with this engine. It's a little big for my taste. It really doesn't need to be this big, but if you have a CC2 and it still works fine, then use the one from that. It's a lot better. Not only did Lionel put these caps out, but they also put these ones out. They put these non-capped ones to go with the engine, just in case you don't want to run ones with caps. My best recommendation is to use the ones with caps, because it's more prototypical. In my recommendation for this engine, I give it a 10 out of 10. great on detail, great on sounds, great on everything, lights, everything. This engine usually is retailed at $600, I believe, $600-700, but I've seen it go for $549. So I hope you all enjoyed this review. I'm Matt, and we'll get to a 15-minute running session next.